Hello everybody, welcome back to CycleFab. Today we're going to learn how to powder coat a motorcycle chain. Yes, I said that right, a motorcycle chain. I've done them before, they last. I'm surprised nobody's done a video over this yet. It comes out great, and I'll show you how to do it today. Okay, the first thing you want to do is clean your chain. Make sure you get every bit of grease off of there. You can't have any contaminants if you're going to powder coat, obviously. So get it off this bike and get it in the tub and get it going. Now, when I do clean my chains, typically I use lacquer thinner just because I use a lot of it. That gets a little expensive. You can use acetone as well. There are other degreasers out there that's not as expensive. Now, I do reuse my lacquer thinner and acetone for various purposes like cleaning chains. So this lacquer thinner is going to be kind of red. The reason why is because I've used it to clean other things before. Anyway, let's get going on that. Okay. By the way, if none of you have this, if any of you do not have this tool, these things are great. They're meant for taking chains apart. I suggest if you do work on bikes, your own bike, friends' bikes, get one. They're great for unlinking chains. And by the way, this key does not go this way. You always want to run, hold on just a second. These guys right here, chain keepers, make sure they go this way into the housing. Just a rule of thumb. You're running this way, they can catch on something, possibly, and come off, and that would be bad. So always install these this way, where the bottom of the U is going into the crankcase. Okay, put my red lacquer thinner on here and let it sit for about an hour. Then I'll get it out and scrub it down with a steel brush, wipe it down, blow it off. Make sure I get everything off of there that can cause the powder coat, not to work. But lacquer thinner is great. Okay, every once in a while I just agitate it every little bit. But anyway, it's been in there for about an hour and a half. That's plenty of time. And the nice thing about lacquer thinner is it's a really good solvent. Don't want to get it on the skin. It will take the oil right out of it. Okay, let's go over here to the table and scrub this thing down. We have our chain that's been soaking for a couple hours now. Maybe not that long, but something like that. What I like to do, lay it on the table. This is just acetone. Go over it with that, because this stuff does evaporate pretty quickly. And just start scrubbing. Make sure all the residue is off, and actually it looks pretty clean as is. But it's best to go ahead and just make sure you get it as clean as possible. We don't want anything to interfere with the process of powder coating. Actually, that looks pretty doggone good. See if I can give you a little better close-up of it. Maybe it'll let me do it. Yeah, it's a pretty clean chain. Okay, we got the dirt off, we got the grease off, we're ready to powder coat, except we have to do the masking first. Now, What we're going to mask is the bearing points that these sprockets are right on. It's very important that we mask this off. You do not want powder coat here. Anyway, it's not that hard to do, a little time consuming, but it's very well worth it. Let's go ahead and get going on that. This is high temp masking tape. You can get it from Amazon, you can get it from any powder coat supply store. It's very common. It seems to always come in green. They have different widths of this, but I always tend to use just this one. That's all I have right now. So I'll have to cut it with a razor blade to fit in between here. So it's real simple anyway. I'll go ahead and show you how I do it. Normally what I do is I just start out to a couple of inches from the chain, stick the tape down on the table just to hold it, is the only reason why, and just go down the length of the chain little by little, and you take your fingers and you push it into the links, and that'll cause it to stick. Now you'll have to, keep the tape straight back and forth. It will always seem to go off away from me. But all this is doing is just keeping the powder off the internal part of the links, the roller. So if it wants to come loose while it's in the oven, no big deal. However, this is really good tape and it rarely comes loose. Okay, now after I go the length of the chain, which I haven't done yet, I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes right now. I come back with a sharp razor in my box cutter and just go down both sides of the chain on the inside. Now, you have to take your time with this. This does not go quickly at all. But the end product is very, very worth it. See how it just peels away? I'll show you when I get done with the whole thing what it looks like. Anyway, it's like I said, it's not that difficult. Just a little tedious and time consuming. Now if you had tape that was exactly that width, whatever it is, I haven't measured it, it would probably go a lot faster. Okay, it's done. Doesn't look like much right now. It would be a lot easier if I just used tape that is the width of the rollers, but like I said, I've done like 4 chains like this. I'm still on the same roll of tape that I use for pretty much everything. When I run out of it, I'll get some that probably fits the inside of this better. One reason why I do this, you can buy colored chains, but they're not always the color that you want. So anyway, that's why I do it. The back I'm doing actually is black with copper accents, and I'll come back and paint the pins, and I'll show you how I do that after I get it powder coated. "20 minutes at 400 degrees and it will be done." Fixing to pull it out. Looking good. Okay, nice and shiny. We'll let this cool down and then I'll show you how to paint the rivets. That's what really adds to it right there, is the rivets. Okay, it's out of the oven. Cool down, and voila. You just pull the tape off or dig it out. Sometimes it wants to stick a little too well. That's what I said, this is really good tape. But as you can see, it's worked out okay. And it's very flexible. It did not stick at all, so don't worry about that. I got all the tape off. Came right off. It probably took, I don't know, 5 minutes. Just lickety split. I see a little piece I missed, but no big deal. Anyway, let me flip it over on the side. Yeah, nice, shiny, black. Okay, here comes the critical part. Using a very fine tip paintbrush with Tester's modeling paint, oil-based paint. This is the stuff that I used to use when I was a kid building models. Testors, very popular paint. Anyway, I like to use oil-based paint. They do have acrylic paint. The only thing that I don't like about oil-based paint is that it takes 72 hours for it to cure. Now, you know, do one side, wait 3 days, then flip it over and do the other side. If you got the luxury of time, great, use oil-based. If not, use acrylic. I just haven't tried it yet. I'm just set my ways, I guess. Anyway, something else too, I have never tried this process of powder coating a chain with a chain that has O-rings in it. It may or may not work. I'll mention this to you again before this video is over with, but eventually I'll try it because I'm kind of curious now, and I will let you guys know. So, the video is not quite over. I want to show you up close how to do this. But if you've liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, Cycle Fab. I'm Larry Bow. And anyway, let's get on with the video and show you how to do this. Okay. Here comes the fun part. Be sure and shake this stuff up. If you don't, nothing will come out other than clear liquid. Now, this may take some practice on your part. I didn't really find that I needed practice at it. It just worked out. I have never done this with an O-ring chain. This is just your standard chain, no O-rings, old school diamond chain. That's the name of the company. Will it work with an O-ring? Probably. Plastics and rubbers today are very, very durable. I'm sure they will take 400 degrees of temperature for 20 minutes. Without testing one, I do not know. Just touch it and it will dome up. You may have to play around with your paint brushes. This is not the smallest one. The small one, the little ones were too fine. You just pick up, you get this, dip it in, and it picks up just enough paint to leave a nice little dome on the head of the rivet. And you leave it. Do not touch it. Takes 72 hours to cure, and until then, stay away from it. I hope this video has been informative as well as entertaining. I hope you visit my channel again. I hope you subscribe, because I will be coming back with more videos of things I've learned to do over 30 years of experience in the machine shop and fab shop. Okay, it's done. Now the paint on the pins still has not dried. I just want to give you guys an idea of what it looks like after it's all taken care of. See if I can do a nice panning picture of this. That black and copper, the pins are painted metallic copper, so that'll give you an idea of. It came out really nice. I hope you have just as good of luck. This is Cycle Fab, and please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you hit the bell, you'll get a notification of when the next video is coming out. See you guys next week.